So I've been getting asked a few questions. First of all, where have you been? And the short answer is that I've been in Africa. And the next question I've been asked is, what have you been doing while you were in Africa? So just a little background. We've got a team of 11 people from City of Grace who started off in Malawi. We spent 7 days there, and we had the opportunity to go into people's homes, their patients who have AIDS, and just minister with them. We could pray with them, had an opportunity to do some practical housekeeping and helps, and really just encourage them in the middle of their struggle. We spent the next 3 days in communities, 2 days in one community in particular, where even in the midst of their lack, there is just such joy of what God is doing and how God is providing. And we had the opportunity to share meals with the children, be able to teach them about Jesus, and then speak with the women and widows who are in that community and encourage them as well. We then flew down to South Africa, completely different experience, and we went into a prison and spoke with some young men about how the redemptive power of Jesus Christ translates into redeeming their home relationships when they're released from prison, and how they can begin to forgive themselves for the crimes that they've committed. Then we had an opportunity to go into another slum area, again, just a completely different experience, but share a meal with people, be able to assemble wheelchairs and give those out, and then worship with them in a newly established service that they have right there in their community. We then were able to go and do some practical help painting for a school for disabled children and spend the afternoon with those kids. I had the particular privilege of going on from there to Uganda and spending time with a child that I've sponsored through Compassion International for the last 10 years. There are not words that can express what it's like to finally meet someone for the very first time, but having known them their entire life, and then still be able to experience with her some of the very first encounters that she had with watching an airplane take off and riding an escalator and standing in the waves of the lake and having them wash up over her feet. And it's just such a beautiful experience to share that life and those moments with her.
Okay, Jen's going to tell us about her pictures. Okay, so this is Patience on the right here. That's the, can everybody see that? I feel like I'm in the way. I'm going to move. That's the girl that I sponsored, which in a nutshell was amazing. And that day, it was 13 hours that I had with her, and it was as if we've known each other, or what we have our whole life. And she lives in a village in Uganda. She'd never been to the city before. And so the guy who was hosting me said, all right, I planned our day, and I decided that we'll do some activities that she has never done before. So we went to watch a plane take off. We went to the zoo. She's never seen even indigenous animals before. We're petting a rhino. How fun is that? At the zoo, it borders Lake Victoria, which is the third largest lake in the world. She's never seen a body of water that large before. So we went and stood in the waves for a little bit. She's never had her feet in sand or anything like it. And then we rode an escalator, rode an elevator, saw a mall, and I got to take her to Watoto Church, which is a really large church. It would be very similar to attending here at City of Grace. That blew her mind away. And then we finished the day at the Sheraton Hotel and had the buffet, which you would think that they had died and gone to heaven. So I'm usually morally against buffets, but I made an exception this time. Okay, so this is Patience and I again. This was at the lakeside area.
How old is she now?
She's 15 now. She just had her birthday in August. These are some babies in the second village that we were at praying to receive Christ. These are the community I was telling you about that had all of the music and celebration. One thing that makes them work as a community that somebody cares, that's ministry we're with, they've really taken ownership of their own community. So these ladies live in the community, but they serve the children food. They volunteer as mentors for the women and widows. And then there's also a support group there for those who are positive with HIV/AIDS. And so, and then their youth group, like I was saying, they hold all-night prayer meetings, and then they go out to other villages and share Jesus. So there's a lot of ownership that they have taken, which make them a really strong community to invest in, because they will run with it, whatever you give them, instead of just constant handouts.
Here is a picture of a little guy that really touched my heart. Got to spend 2 days with him in a community in Malawi. And he was just so drawn to the presence of God and strangers in his midst, but just spent a good amount of time with him there. Here's a picture of the kids lined up, washing their hands before they eat the meal that we provide. I think the thing that I was really struck with is the generosity that even in the midst of the utter poverty that they live in, the willingness that they have to share with one another what little they do have.
I'll just intro this video. So we had spent some time with the widows and the mothers, and we really just shared our testimonies and our stories. The thing that, it's like we can't really give, there's only so much that we can do as one person, but what we can do is share a life with people. And the need is great, whether it's here locally, whether it's around the world. Sometimes it's overwhelming, but God only just calls us to do one thing, and that's be obedient to Him. He'll show you what to do, but it's just about being obedient. So with these women, we had a chance to just share our testimonies and pray with them. And then I just asked them if I could share a song with them that encourages me when I'm just need God. And they wanted to learn it, so we tried to translate it. It didn't translate very good. So they were patient. We learned it a few times. And then they said, "Can we sing you a song?" And this is what I got in response. Welcome to High School Musical.
Thank you so much for those who were able to give to this trip for me, and thank you all for your prayers. It was such an honor and privilege to represent City of Grace in Africa, and now it's such an honor and privilege to be back home. Thanks.
Kala,